Welcome to Global Insiders Podcast. I am Ryan, the peripatetic one, bringing you information about opportunities relating to jobs, traveling, and any information that can elevate you to your rightful place in this thing called life. You can find more information and how to methods on globalinsidersgroup.com. That is insiders with an S. And here is today's show. Hello, insiders. Today I'm very excited because I have a modern day Vasco da Gama on the show, a man who is a true explorer and adventure seeker. And this summer he fulfilled one of the most coveted bucket list items, the Football World Cup. So please continue doing what you are and get ready to live vicariously through my guest, Matthew. Welcome to the show, Matthew.
Well, thank you. Boy, you have all of the names, man, because I don't know this Vasquez guy. Like, you need to school me.
Well, I mean, he was an explorer, you know? I mean,
Okay.
yes.
You learn something new every day.
Yes. So, please introduce yourself to the insiders.
Okay. Matthew Chin. Never done a podcast before. Don't know much about what I'm doing. Just somebody who likes to travel.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, that is good. That is good. So, I will admit that the last trip that you did, when I saw you heading towards Israel, I was like, wow, that is awesome. But then you topped it off by going to the World Cup, and I'm not a person that gets jealous easily, but you did move my jealousy needle a little bit. So let's dive in and learn some more about how this whole travel bug started for you.
Okay. So I would say I feel like it's in people's personalities. Like I feel like there are certain people that are just more inclined or want to be more adventurous, etc. But I would say maybe 10 years ago around, I think I got a really good group of friends who were really adventurous and just really wanted to explore Jamaica. And I think it just ignited something in me. This was before Instagram came out and it was like, oh, I want to travel because it's so cool to travel. Like it was
Yes.
just, people that wanted to go to waterfalls and they wanted to go hiking and to the mountains and I think I just found a really good group of friends, honestly. And it was something that was, I think, always inside of me, but just something that I don't think I explored.
Okay, great. So basically, you're saying that your
That,
friends basically ignited it.
yeah, I would say.
I mean, locally there are so many places to visit, but sometimes, as you say in Jamaica, but sometimes persons don't even think about it. I mean, even me. I mean, I try to travel, yes, but I haven't explored all of the places. Like even let's say Saint Elizabeth, that's a parish I would really love to visit and travel around a lot more, but I haven't done so yet. So, I mean, what are the top five things you would say to persons who have never been to Jamaica that they should try to see?
Boy, Ryan. I honestly, I don't feel like I could come up with a top five list just because I feel like Jamaica, even though it's somewhat small, I feel like there's so many different things to do. And people do ask me from time to time, like, where do you think we should go or what you think we should do? And then I ask them, how much time do you have and what exactly is your interest? And then from there, I would say kind of build a trip.
Yes.
But I would say that there's so much here to see and do that I couldn't personally say I have a top
All
five.
right. Well, I'll put down this. I'll have to put down the spot then. So, what about beach? Let's say someone who's into that, just going to the beach and relaxing, and maybe listening to some music in the night. Or where would you recommend to someone like that?
Beach and relaxing. If it's beaches, I would say go to Portland.
Okay.
There's Winifred's and there is Frenchman's Cove, and then there is what is it, Long Bay out by Boston. So there's so much selection of nice beaches out there. I would suggest to go there.
Okay, great. I like that. So no, back to you now. Is there somewhere in Jamaica that you would love to explore but haven't yet?
I mean, I would love to see more. I would love to see the Cosmic country. That would
Okay.
be somewhere that I personally would like to do. To be honest with you, I wrote a list. I
Yes.
think one of the things I loved about Instagram and this modern day social media is that it kind of connected us to other. Like you saw pictures of things that and you're like, wait, where is that? And then I started to compile a list of places I'd go to, and then I would, tick off the list and go to some of them. And there are just some that I haven't gone to. So, for example, 9 Mile, I've never been to it.
Okay, there you go.
That's somewhere I want to see. So
Okay.
yeah, so there are a few, and there are others as well. And there are places that I've been only once, and I'd like to go to again. But
Yes.
that's a good example of one.
Do you remember the first time you traveled international or the first time you traveled on your own? On your own.
Uh, well, I mean, those are two completely separate, different questions.
Yes,
On
go
my
ahead.
own,
Yes.
on my own, I wouldn't say the first time I traveled on my own, but the first time that I think it was really memorable. I went to the Greek islands 4 years ago,
Okay.
and that was a trip where I was supposed to go with friends, and they had to back out for some reasons. Some of them met me further along in the trip because I went island hopping.
Yes.
But I ended up like it was a question of, well, what do you do now? Do you go by yourself or do you cancel it? And for some reason, the Greek islands are somewhere I just always wanted to see, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go no matter what. I'm going to do this. Um, and that was probably the most, what you call it now, the experience that really stands out to me.
What
It
exactly?
just felt so freeing. Like
Okay, well, that's what I was asking. What exactly about it made it stood out? What stood out about it?
I think it was that it was so far. I mean, from Jamaica, because I had to take a flight to London and then a flight from London to Greece, and it was. I think it was just so far, and it was like, all right, you're on your own. You're by yourself, and you know what you're going to do. How you're going to figure it out. You don't speak the language, etc. Um, but I went and I did it on my own, and it was something just so freeing about it. The islands are so nice. I guess it's a quad. I rented a quad, and that's how you literally explore it. You
Oh,
literally go on the quad and you drive around.
oh, really? So I mean, what the
Yeah,
drive?
I mean you
So
can.
what about the driving there? Is it like I mean, because sometimes driving can be crazy in foreign countries. So I mean, people are very courteous on the road and so forth.
Yeah, people drove, so I guess you could have rented a car too. But when I got there, I saw so many people on quads riding around, and that was just one of the ways to explore. So the island in particular, Mykonos, it's a lot smaller than Jamaica, but it's still an island. It's still pretty large. I'm sure I only saw maybe 20% of the island riding around in a quad, but it was just a nice experience. Like the beaches aren't where they're just right beside each other. You literally have to go down into valleys because there are cliffs all around. So it was just an amazing experience.
Okay, one more time. You said there are what around? There are the
The
call.
beaches, I was saying there's a lot of cliffs
Oh, cliffs.
around.
Okay, cliffs.
So it's not that it's not the beaches are just all connected to each other. Like you literally have to drive up. Somewhere might be right beside the other one, but separated by a cliff.
Okay, great.
Cliff being the best word I can use for it.
In your opinion, what is the best way to travel? Solo, with one good friend, with a group of friends, or with a group of strangers?
Wow. I would say probably with one good friend. That's probably the best way.
Yes,
Honestly, Ryan, there are perks to each one because when you travel by yourself, there are no limits. Everything you feel like doing,
you
you
can
can
do.
do. So you don't have
Yes,
to worry about anybody else. You don't have to worry about hurting nobody's feelings or if they
yeah,
never wanted to do it.
yes,
People are interesting.
yes.
Sometimes they don't say what they want or they oversay, they want too much. So I would say try to find someone who's really like-minded and try to find someone who is easy and rolls with the punches because traveling, it's not just always easy, and it's not just always a better road. It's like things
Yes.
are gonna come up, and it's gonna be harsh. And if you find somebody that just can just like chill and not make things be a big issue,
Yes.
then you find that person that wants to go the places you want to go and do the things you want to do, and you go with them. That
I,
would be, to me, the best way.
I agree with you, definitely. I agree with that. All right, so places to stay. Do you usually stay in hostels or hotels?
Okay. Again, like I said before, I feel like I'm a pretty open person.
Yeah.
So I'd be up for if you said to me, we're going to do this thing out like last year, for example, my friend Simi, she said, okay, what we want to do is we want to go in a camper van and the Iceland. And I was like, what? And so it's literally it's a highest pickup.
Yes.
And there's couches in the back. What you call it now? What would be your living room turns
Oh,
into your bedroom in the night.
oh wow.
So you have to get really close. You have to be really close to get around it. Like that's team building because
Yes.
you're really on top of each other almost.
Oh wow.
So that's one thing I've done. We've done it by camper van. Like in 2 to 3 days, sleeping in a camper van. That was an interesting experience. But you ask hotels or hostels now. I would have loved to have done the whole backpacking experience and hostels, but I honestly, um, I think maybe past my time a bit. I didn't get much into doing the hostels. So I do hotels mainly and Airbnb. I would
Oh,
say those are the main things.
okay.
But I always wanted to go to hostels. I actually always wanted to go to hostels and experience it. And funny enough, on the last trip, the same one with Iceland, before we were in Switzerland, and I think the rooms were just really expensive in the hotels. So my friend Heather, she was in charge of booking the rooms, and she actually booked us into a hostel. And it was a really clean and nice hostel. It was a great experience. What I found or what I realized, and it's not just with hostel, but I've stayed in Airbnbs where it's like you're staying in someone else's house,
Yes.
so it's not just your place. And what I find is that I am the type of person that I think I need time to kind of recharge and
Yes.
almost a little bit. I don't know if personal space is the word, but I realize when I stay in the hostel and then you lock off the lights at a certain time because everyone is sleeping in the same room,
Yes.
or when I was in the Airbnb and I was with people, I would be in their shower and I'd be like, I'm on it, I'm showering too long. If they're upset and they're like, well, it's just I would just shut off the hot water.
But you're paying for
So
it.
I realized, yeah, you pay for it, but I just realized that there's a certain level of comfort in
Yes.
being in your own private space that I
Yes.
actually like. So I love the idea of hostels and I love the idea of the community rings, but I haven't done it often, and I wouldn't say it's something I'd want to do every time. I realize I need that
Okay. Good. I
kind of
understand.
recharge.
I definitely understand where you are with that. So, I mean, I don't know if you're a foodie, but are you into trying local dishes?
Funny, I would not consider myself a foodie, in the sense of trying all these different dishes and needing or having to go to the restaurants or the top spots. I am definitely not that person.
Yes.
I'm more of a foodie in the sense that I need to eat every 2 to 3 hours. So no matter what it is, like I need to go and get some food.
Yes.
So, but interestingly enough, I think maybe even with the travel, because you open up one avenue, you open up all of them. I think I've become more adventurous and more open with food in the last few years than I think I was growing up. Growing up, I never ate anything.
Okay. Okay. Understood. So, you have been to over 20 countries. I am sure that they could not have all been smooth and easy to access. What is a major challenge or some major challenges that you have faced on your trips?
Okay. Well, on this last trip is probably the one I can speak about easiest.
Okay.
Traveling on a Jamaican passport is not always the easiest thing because sometimes you go to other countries and they're not familiar with the passport, so they don't even know whether or not you need a visa or you don't, and then they
Oh,
leave you a
wow.
little bit longer to check out things. Yeah.
Mm.
So that would be one of the biggest travel related issues in Israel on this trip. I When I came off of the plane, and mind you, this is a flight that started at 3 in the morning, so you're completely incoherent when you
Yes.
come off. I handed my passport to the immigration officer, and I was just thinking it's gonna be smooth, like it's normally is. And instead, the guy barely paid me any attention, and then he just told me, "Hey, I'm gonna hold your passport, and you have to go over here into this room, and somebody will come to you and talk to you in a few minutes."
That is
And
scary.
it's nerve wracking.
Yes.
It's nerve wracking because you're in a foreign country, you don't speak the language, you don't know why they're going to talk. He hasn't said to me, "We're flagging you because of XYZ." So you don't know.
Yes.
Um, so I found myself in a little waiting room for about maybe 45 minutes, and that it's scary.
Of course, it is
That is
very
one of
scary.
the
Yes.
more unpleasant things. Yeah, that is one of the you do have to step outside of your comfort zone,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I know it's not what you asked me, but one of the great things as well is you realize when you travel, you're no one to no one. Like
Yes.
it humbles you, and
Yes.
you can step back and you have to figure out these things. Like it's scary, but at the same time, it's also a little bit exciting.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, I'd also say the language barrier, especially on trips like this, like in Rome before that, someone told me before I got to Rome, they don't really want to try to speak English. So I don't speak any other languages. I wish I could learn, but I'm not so good at learning new languages.
Okay.
But I always get by in foreign countries regardless.
Yes.
And in some of them, some people just really don't speak very well English, and that's a little bit of a barrier sometimes. Because sometimes you just want the comfort of ordering a pizza and not having to think 30 different things to get it.
But I mean, I heard that about France, but I've never heard that about Italy. I know that the French are notorious for not speaking English to English speakers, even if they know some form of English. But I didn't hear that about Italy. Okay,
I
interesting.
guess each of us forge our own path. So your opinion on what you see. You may just interact with the six people, in Italy that didn't want to. While
That is
funny
true.
enough, my experience in going to Paris is that I thought the people were friendly. So yeah, as you said, there are stereotypes,
Yes.
but
Mm.
you know, in anyone. I mean, the question was, what the hardships were, and I think those are some of the harder things to get over. You
Okay.
are outside of your comfort zone in everything.
All right. Thank you for that. So now let's do a word association game. So I'll call the names and you just tell me what you think. So Israel.
Tel Aviv.
Okay.
Is this a one word? Is this a one word thing,
No,
or
you,
is this
you can you
multiple
can say
description?
you can give a description if you want, one word or a sentence. I mean, nothing too lengthy.
Well, just from what I said to you a while ago, Israel is a little bit harder for me to get into for some reason than other
Okay.
people.
Okay. Cuba.
You know, wow. I think of the Malecon for some reason when I think of Havana.
Okay. And that's what. One more time. Repeat for me.
The Malecon, the little it's by the water. It's basically their waterfront,
Okay.
and it's just
Okay.
beautiful. Everybody goes there and just watches, and and when I went, there were like a lot of strong waves, so the
Yes.
waves would come rippling up, like huge, like going onto the road. So the
Okay.
cars pass by it as well. It's like
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
that's one of the better things I remember from Cuba.
Okay. Thailand.
Thailand, the food.
Food.
Yeah, I love Thai food, and
Okay.
it was so cheap. Everything in Thailand was so cheap. So I would want to go back there just to go and eat like everything today.
Y- Did you just say cheap?
Very cheap. Thailand was
Oh,
very cheap.
wow. Greece.
Greece, um, the islands, Mykonos, Santorini. Santorini has the best sunset I think I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. Even more than the grill.
Comparable. They're maybe on par, but I would say Santorini probably has the upper hand. I mean,
Oh,
mind you, I was half a world away, so you
yes,
have to give it that as well.
definitely. All right. Brazil.
Oh, Brazil. I did this tour of Brazil when I went, and it was literally like I only had one day there, and they showed me everything in like maybe 3 hours. It was beautiful. I went to the Christ the Redeemer statue, and
Yes.
then to Sugarloaf Mountain.
Yes.
Um, I really enjoyed Brazil for that one day. What was interesting too is that on the ride from the airport, they block out the favelas. That's what they
Yes.
call
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. That's what it's called, favelas. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, Brazil was a great experience.
Dubai.
Never been. I want to go though. I mean, world's tallest building, and I mean they've done so much with. I really would like to go. That's on my list.
Okay. Jamaica.
Jamaica. I mean, the people. I
Okay.
think. I mean, the landscape and everything, but the people make Jamaica like. There's just such a realness about us,
Okay. Good.
such a authenticity.
Nice. Canada.
Canada. Um, I would say I went to Whistler a year ago, and I loved it.
Okay.
They have like some of the most beautiful lakes. Niagara Falls in Toronto. Well, outside of Toronto, but it's beautiful. I've also been to Montreal. Very beautiful country. I want to explore more of Canada. Very large.
Okay. Good. And let's change pace a little now. Exercise.
Exercise.
Yes. Exercise. Yes.
What do I think about exercise? I don't
Yes, yes,
understand.
yes, yes. What do you think? Like, for example, I think you're into exercising. So when you take your trips, how do you get to your exercising?
Boy, Ryan, you just honestly, you can't, if you want to do something, you can do it. So you can do all kinds of things in your hotel room or your Airbnb or even on the beach. Like you can, do a bunch of cardio or sit ups, pull ups, whatever it is. I've made a conscious effort on the past few trips to try to exercise as much as I can when I can fit it in.
So,
So I think the big thing is to try to keep it into somewhat of a routine, but at the same time, don't become overly, what's the word?
overzealous.
Don't become crazy about it exactly because you are on vacation as well.
Okay, great. So, Instagram.
The beautiful thing, as I said about Instagram, is that I feel like I've met so many friends or so many people who are like, okay, I love what you do, or they ask me questions. At the same time, I reach out to people. I just love how it connects similar communities,
Great. And now let's get into the
and I
world.
and I and I genuinely love pictures.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
exactly.
go on.
Yes, that's it. That's it. That's it. I love pictures too. Um, World Cup. That's the last one. The World Cup.
All right. What did I think about it?
Yes.
It was an experience that was it's out of this world. I love Carnival in Jamaica. I've done it for the past 4 years, like I've jumped in it, and I
Yes.
would say it's just like that. It's not better. Like the energy, the electricity around the matches. It's something that I wish if everyone could experience. I'd want them to experience.
So I guess in one word, it's like a carnival. It's a carnival experience.
It's such a welcome to the country.
Okay.
Um, yeah, there's so much energy around it. The game, like, there's nothing like being at the actual game. I don't know. Remember I'm fresh from this because I've only been back maybe 2 weeks now from it, maybe less.
Yes,
And
yes.
I'm in love with Russia. I'm in love with the World Cup. I'm trying to figure out how to go back in. Yeah.
How long did it take you to plan your trip? Like, I mean, was it like, were you thinking like, oh, like a year, it took you a year, or like, were you just like in the moment and you say, oh, I'm going to the World Cup, let me just plan this thing and go to the World Cup?
So it didn't take me a year. I've always had in the back of my mind that I want to go to a World Cup because in Jamaica we grew up around the TV watching World Cup. So I've always thought, yeah, that's something I want to do. But I didn't know whether or not it would actually happen. So I this year actually when I started planning, I was sick in January. I had done a surgery and I just had some extra days at home to recover.
Yes.
And I don't remember why or how it led me to it, but I was like, let me go and try and see what this lottery is about. Because you have to join a lottery.
Oh, really? I didn't
And
even know
I
that.
went and
Could you talk about that a
they
little?
say a lot. Sure.
Yes.
I think FIFA opens up different periods of time, and so they
Yes.
ask you whether or not which match you're interested in, and you basically join this lottery where they give you 10 minutes or so. It's similar, I guess, to what Ticketmaster does when it opens up tickets, and you vie for a ticket, and they don't tell you then and there whether or not you're going to get the ticket. They say to you, okay, we'll figure it out, and they will tell you, and you give them your credit card information and everything. So when you do it, you don't know if you've gotten the ticket. So I did this in late January.
Yes.
I think they got back to me in March and said, you have your ticket. And even when they said it, it's not like they showed the ticket or anything like that. So I had to check my credit card statement and say, okay, they've charged me for this. So I guess I really got it.
Wow, I had no idea. That sounds like those long lines outside of the clubs, and then you have the empty clubs inside. That's what that sounds like.
Well, the stadium was full. It said, I think 40,000 people, so it definitely wasn't a trick. But they do open up different periods, and I don't know if it's particular to the World Cup, maybe, but I've also had a friend tell me that Tomorrowland is this big
Like
EDM
idiom, yeah.
party
Yeah.
in Belgium, and I
Yes.
think it's the same thing where it's kind of like a lottery. I guess any event where there's so much more people than tickets, something to kind of figure out how many people.
Yes.
And from what I understand, not many people, I think, from the Jamaica region that would enter to go to Tomorrowland. So more than likely, if you're representing Jamaica or applying from here, you have a
Yes.
very good chance of getting to the lottery. So even though it's a lottery, I think I had a pretty good chance of getting through, I would say.
Okay, good, good, good. Fantastic. And which games did you see?
I saw the Spain versus Portugal match.
Okay, you
I
got
think it was maybe the third or fourth match on the second.
yes, you got a really good match too. So wow, good for you, good for you.
Man, I mean, we thought, okay, this is two great teams, so that's why I had chosen that one to begin with when I looked it up. But I don't think anything could have prepared us for that match. Like, it was just
Electric.
crazy excitement. Yeah, like, I've heard people say after, like, that has been the match of the qualifying round. I think the match after with Germany and Mexico was also a pretty big deal, but that was, I think, more because Germany lost and not
Yes.
so much the match. This match was just like goal after goal after. Like, it
Yes,
was
it had everything. I mean,
like
if you're a
I could
neutral,
not have planned it better. I couldn't
yes,
have planned it
you
better.
couldn't, you couldn't
And
have.
you go you go out after the World Cup, and you expect that there's, as I said, going to be energy and electricity, but everyone wants to talk to you. Russians are so friendly; they all wanted to talk to you. They wanted to know where you're from. They wanted to welcome you to Russia, and then of course there's all these people from Portugal and Spain there, and in other countries as well. And everyone, like, we were wearing jerseys, and you felt like rock stars. Like, people wanted to buy you drinks, they wanted to just talk to you. Girls want to dance with you. It's crazy.
Okay, sounds like a melting pot right there.
Yeah, man. It
Okay.
was. It was.
So now that you're a World Cup insider, please tell us three things that you learned firsthand about a World Cup trip.
Three things that I learned about a World Cup trip. Okay, the first one I would say to you. I explained to you the whole process of the what you call it, the lottery,
Yes.
but so they FIFA eventually mail the ticket to you. They don't tell you when it's going to come. Like, you're kind of stuck in anticipation because they go very close to the day. So I think in May, when I was leaving for my trip, I still didn't get my ticket. So I'm like, hey,
Wow.
what's going on?
Wow,
So that's the
wow,
first thing,
wow.
is that you're gonna have a little bit of anxiety, and the big thing about that was when they actually did tell me it was being mailed. For some reason, Jamaica Customs decided to hold on to my ticket. Apparently, amusement tickets are going to events. Apparently, there's some kind of fee, or I think it's exorbitant. I don't think it's right what they did. but they held on to the tickets, and we had to pay a lot of money to get them back. Like,
Oh,
I think
wow.
it was almost close to the cost of the ticket.
Oh, my
So I would tell
goodness.
someone, if you're in Jamaica and you're going to the World Cup, send your ticket to someone you know in Miami. Figure out a way to get it, but don't bother send it here.
Oh, my goodness.
Number two, definitely, buy the jersey. Definitely buy the jersey for the team. And then, of course, like I said a while
Yes.
ago, make sure you go after, like, you have to experience it. Even after we had left Sochi, which is the match we watched, and same thing, like the excitement, the energy around it was crazy. Make sure to take it all in and experience it, because it's I don't want to say a once in a lifetime experience, but it's out of this world.
Yes.
The third thing, I would say, what I would have hoped or what I wished when I was there is that I had bought more than one ticket. So I knew that I got the first one. It was still open where I could have tried to buy more.
Yes.
So I really wish that I had tried to. I wish that I had gotten for the Germany and Mexico game, because that was just 2 days later in Moscow, which I ended up being in, but I just couldn't get to the match because I didn't have the ticket. So I would have tried to make sure that I planned, more than one game. You're already over there, so you might as well.
Yes.
I didn't, because I had some planning issues. I didn't know in the end whether or not I was going to be able to take this trip because of personal issues. So I didn't forward plan as much as I probably should have. That is something I would have done for. And if I went to the next World Cup, I would try to catch in 2 or 3 matches.
Okay. Oh, no. The final question for today. How is your blog?
The blog. So I haven't updated my blog in over a month.
What is the name of your blog, by the way, for the insiders who don't know?
Oh, it's www.jamaicantotheworld.com.
Okay, so that's.
I'm thinking, okay, Matthew, you can travel and you can update it when all of these amazing things are happening and you have stories about things that are going on. The truth is that the way that I travel is just like I'm just jumping from one thing to the next. I barely had time to sleep, much to update a blog. So it's been over a month that it's not updated. I have all of these stories in my head, and what I want to do is write them down sooner than later, because I have a very forgetful memory. So I'm hoping to put that all down and, get it into the blog.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope to see more things on the blog, and all the best with the blog. And one more time, what is the name of the blog?
JamaicanToTheWorld.com.
All right, so that is JamaicanToTheWorld.com insiders. Okay, remember to follow that blog. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man, follow the blog, follow Instagram, follow anything you want. I just enjoy, I just enjoy when people have questions or they want to know what's going on.
Okay, so thank you for coming on the show, Matthew, and just tell them how they can reach you. Tell the insiders how they can reach you online.
But the Instagram account is Matthew312, which is MATTEU 312. It's just a nickname. That's not my real name. My name is Matthew. And you already know the blog. I don't think there's anything else.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks for listening today. I hope you are inspired. You can find more helpful and motivational material at globalinsidersgroup.com. That is, insiders with an S. You can also keep in touch at Global Insiders on Instagram. See you next time, but remember, you can be your own superhero. Bye.